Title: Unforgettable. The Psychology of Relationships That Mark Our Souls. Format: explicable video documentary narration. Scene: open video. Time-lapse of a bustling city intersection. People cross paths, some glancing at each other, most focused on their own paths. Slow, evocative instrumental music begins. Narrator: 5. We cross paths with thousands of people. Yet, a handful leave a mark so deep, they become unforgettable. It's not always the one you spent the most years with, or the one who was the most perfect on paper, so what is it? What alchemy of mind, memory, and heart etches a person permanently into our psyche? Text on screen. Unforgettable relationship psychology. Narrator: This isn't about nostalgia. It's about the powerful psychological principles that transform a connection from ordinary into indelible. Chapter 1. The Power of Peak and End. Video: abstract animations of a graph line spiking and then gently plateauing. Narrator: Psychologist Daniel Kahneman gave us a key: the peak end rule. We don't remember an experience as a full average. We remember its most intense. Point to peak end, how it ended. Video: quick, resonant shots, a couple laughing uncontrollably, a fierce, tearful argument, a final, tender embrace. At an airport. Narrator: An unforgettable relationship is often defined by its emotional peaks, moments of sublime joy, devastating conflict, or unparalleled vulnerability. And then, its ending. A sudden, unresolved ending, a mystery. A tragedy, a choice, left hanging creates a cognitive loop. Our brain craves closure it can't get. Reflective question on screen: what was your peak, and how did it truly end? Chapter 2. The Self-Discovery Mirror. Video: a person looking into a mirror, but instead of their own reflection, they see moments of growth, learning a skill, standing up for themselves, creating art. Narrator: the most unforgettable people are often our catalysts. They hold up a mirror in which we see not only them, but a new, emerging version of ourselves. This taps into the theory of the possible self. Video: split screen. On one side, a shy person. On the other, the same person confidently giving a speech, encouraged by a partner's gaze from the crowd. Narrator: they believed in our potential before we did. They challenged us, exposed us to new ideas, or loved us in a way that made us feel like our best, truest self. Losing them can feel like losing that part of you they helped awaken. That's not just a lost relationship. It's a lost identity. Reflective question on screen: who did you become when you were with them? Chapter 3. The Unsolved Puzzle and Idealization. Video: a complex, beautiful jigsaw puzzle with one piece missing. The missing piece transforms into a question mark. Narrator: our minds are puzzle solvers. An unfinished story is a puzzle we can't stop trying to solve. This is Zeigarnik effect. We remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. Video: a montage of what-if scenarios illustrated in a dreamlike style. Narrator: when a relationship ends abruptly or ambiguously, our brain fills the void not with reality, but with idealization. We obsess over the potential, the perfect future that was stolen. We don't miss the real, flawed person. We missed the phantom of what could have been. This phantom, untainted by reality, is perfect and impossible to forget. Chapter 4. Neurological Carving. Attachment and Chemistry. Video: autistic representation of neural pathways lighting up like fireworks. Narrator: there's a literal, physical reason. Early, intense bonding, especially when paired with intermittent reinforcement, hot and cold. Push and pull activates our attachment system and dopamine pathways like a slot machine. Video: a time-lapse of a tree growing, its roots digging deep into the ground. Narrator: it creates an addictive cycle. The anxiety of their absence, the relief and euphoria of their return. This carves neural pathways as deep as addiction. Furthermore, relationships during our formative years Early adulthood, when our brains are still highly plastic, are etched more deeply. They became part of our foundational wiring. Chapter 5. The Shadow and the Lesson. Video. A person walking, a long shadow stretching behind them, morphing into a teacher, a guide, narrator. Sometimes a relationship is unforgettable not for its light, but for its shadow. A painful relationship, especially one that repeats a childhood pattern, forces a brutal but vital lesson. Narrator. It becomes the archetypal lesson we had to learn: how to set a boundary, how to choose ourselves, what we will no longer tolerate. The pain of the lesson becomes its memorability. They are the villain in the story of your growth, but a necessary villain. Reflective question on screen: what did they teach you, even unintentionally? Conclusion: the echo, not the voice. Video. Back to the city intersection, but slower. Our main subject smiles softly to themselves, walking forward, carrying the memory lightly. Narrator. So, is it fate? Magic? Not quite. It's a powerful confluence of psychology, PK emotions, unfinished business, self-neural programming, and profound lessons. Narrator. Narrator. An unforgettable person is not necessarily a soulmate. They're a psychological landmark, a signpost in the story of you. They changed your trajectory. The goal isn't to forget them. The goal is to understand why they remain, integrate the lesson, and recognize that their echo in your memory is not a call to return, but a proof of how far you've come. Music swells gently, then fades to quiet. Narrator. Narrator. They are unforgettable because, for a chapter, they were the author. The rest of the story, that's still yours to write.